Hello and welcome to Happy Pet, Happy Family podcast. I am your host, Virginia, and today I have a wonderful guest, Tom, aka Dad. Hello.
Good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm okay.
Yeah. Can you speak a little bit more into the mic? Can you hear how I'm very booming and...
Yes, I
There
can.
you go. There you go. Perfect. Okay, so I have you on here to interview you about your pet. Normally, I would like to have pets here, but, I'm just starting this and we're getting the hang of things. And so today we don't have Callie, but we will have some glamour shots of her all over our social media and maybe on the YouTube channel, but we'll see.
I'm not sure that's a dog who has a glamour shot.
She does. I remember I took a picture of her with my son, and it was so photogenic. It was so beautiful.
She's an interesting assemblage of parts.
Yes, she is. Okay, and that's part of the questionnaire. So let me ask you. First, I want to get a little history on you. How many pets have you had in your lifetime?
Well, my parents were cat people, and my dad had an ancient cat that lived most of 16 years, and so growing up, it was a house with one cat. Mm-hmm. I got my first dog, Rosie the St. Bernard, when I was 17, I think.
Okay.
And we've had dogs since then, except for some intervals when we were living in small places in different cities. But since Rosie the St. Bernard, we've had dogs pretty much all the time.
Yeah. Okay. Was you and mom's first dog a St. Bernard? As a couple?
As a couple, no. She had a dog in high school, and forgive us, his name was Kilo. He was, yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't name him.
No, it's okay. I didn't expect that.
He was a beautiful black border collie.
Oh, okay.
And I had Rosie the St. Bernard, and those two dogs were with us through college. And, she and I started living together when we were 18, so probably until we were 21 or 22. And then they both died within 4 months of each other.
Oh.
And
so they really loved each other. Mm-hmm. They were very attached to each other.
And we moved away to go to school in Virginia and didn't have dogs again until we wound up in beautiful Manville, Texas.
Oh, okay.
And that was now 30 years ago. So we've had different dogs over the last 30 years.
And was Darla the first one at Manville?
She was the first one that stuck. There were a couple who got into the neighbor's chicken house and got shot.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that's a different sad story. But the neighbor who shot him was a meth head and subsequently took his own life. So, karma strikes in all directions. We had kind of a German Shepherd mix for 3 days, but it tried to kill our cat, and Nancy got in the middle of it and got bit on the hand and had to get stitches.
Oh my God, I feel like I remember being told that at some point.
I don't know. So Darla was the first one who stuck. Darla
was wonderful.
Was a wonderful, wonderful dog for all you kids, but particularly for Charlie.
Oh yeah. I remember he was really attached.
She was his support dog.
Yeah.
Back before no one knew what a support dog was.
Yeah, the OG support dog.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's talk about Callie. Where did you get Callie from?
Well, we got her from the Galveston Island Humane Society, and the backstory on Callie is that she was living on and running wild on the beach. You never know, obviously, whether the backstory you get from the volunteers at the Humane Society is really documented fact.
Yeah.
We like to think she ran wild on the beach, but just because that sounds romantic. She had a litter of puppies, but no one ever found the puppies, and so that adds a little hint of tragedy to the backstory.
Yeah.
You can see young Callie fighting off the coyotes in the middle of the night.
Yeah, yeah. If you could, yeah, if you imagined romanticized tragedy, for
Yeah.
sure.
That's an aside that the Galveston Island has a large feral population of coyotes. And you'll see them out in packs if you get up late enough or early enough. I've seen them at like 2 in the morning.
Like on the street?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wandering around looking for cats.
Oh my God.
And every once in a while you'll find, a pile of hair and bones that indicates they found one.
Oh my God. I didn't even, that's crazy.
There is a coyote ordinance in Galveston.
They got a gang down there.
Yeah. So
Wow.
you can't feed the coyotes. You call the animal control when you see the coyotes, but frankly, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And they sleep under the houses during the day.
Oh my God.
It's really interesting.
That is interesting. Don't leave your dogs outside after dark.
No, they will jump a 6-foot fence to come eat your dog.
Oh
so
my God. Oh my God.
Do
Okay.
not leave your dogs out in Galveston. So, back to Cali.
Back to Cali. So your first visit to go see her, I know you didn't get her like immediately. You went and visited her, and then went back and got her. How did that happen?
Well, we had lost Molly the dog, the world's greatest dog.
Yes.
And some time had passed, and we decided Chance, our other dog, needed some companionship. So we were looking to adopt a dog. We looked on the website and actually liked a different dog. Went in to see him. All he wanted to do was hump Chance. So that was a non-starter.
That was not going to work.
That was not going to work. And as I was leaving, the volunteer said, well, we have a really sweet dog that kind of looks like this one and is this size. Let me bring her. And it was Callie. And Callie looks like a pit bull bred with a Shar-Pei. She's got the muscles and head shape of a pit bull, much smaller than a mature pit bull. She's like 43 pounds.
Yeah.
And has loose, floppy skin everywhere, as you know. So
Wrinkles.
There's Shar-Pei there somewhere.
And her hair coat is Shar-Pei, right?
Yeah.
It's like velvet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful dog.
Yeah. So by chance, we bumped into her after the other one struck out, and I told Nancy to go meet her, and Nancy brought her home. So
yeah.
The rest is dog adoption history.
Well, let's talk about that dog adoption history, because I heard you had some bumps in the road as far as integrating her into your house.
Well, she was wild,
Yeah.
and had no socialization whatsoever.
What kind of things would she do when she first came home?
Well, she did a lot of eating things. She ate shoes. She ate baseball hats.
And how old is she?
We've had her 10 months, and she's 2.5. So she was under 2 years old when we brought her home.
An adult dog, but acting like a puppy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of anxiety. She'd been in jail, and then she was at our house with another dog around. She didn't know. So, but I mean,
so it took some time.
Not a lot of bathroom accidents, a few, but she was house trained.
Okay.
And really, her thing was, I will express my anxiety by barking. And so, if you had her out in the yard and somebody walked down the block on the other side of the street, she would bark. And God knows if somebody walked a dog on our side of the street, there would be a lot of fence fighting.
Yeah.
And
what about when you had guests over?
She was originally a jumper-upper.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And at different times, she almost knocked Rick Rostelli off the porch.
Oh, wow.
Which would have killed him. I mean, Rick Rostelli is 70 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
And kind of unsteady in his gait. And at one point, Rylan came running in the back door when he was over there, and Callie came racing in and jumped up on him and sent him flying.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so we had to cure that, and it's much, much better. We took her to training at Petco, actually.
Yeah, I heard you're doing individual training now, too. Yeah.
And she's settled in much better. She will still if she gets a little affection from a stranger, she still wants to jump up and get closer to their face.
Yeah.
And she has obnoxious long claws.
She does kind of resemble a bear a little bit.
Yeah, she's very strange. She has webbed feet.
Uh-huh.
The claws come out of these little stubby toes with, on long-haired breeds, you hardly see the claws because the hair hides
All the
them.
hair,
The fur
yeah.
hides them.
Like this one right here.
yeah,
She's got some...
Cali has no hair, short hair everywhere, webbed feet, and then these claws extend out like a bear's claws.
Yeah, and they kind of have a hood around them, like it's coming from like almost like a werewolf, I would say. Yeah. Some werewolf.
She's a strange
claws.
assemblage.
For the ones listening, I have a little old dog next to us that's a little, I don't know what she is, a terrier of some kind, and she's 16. She's an old lady, but she's got some hair. Some long hair over her nails that I was using as an example. But anyway, okay, so let me ask you this because I know you, of course, and I know some history and everything. I know you had some hesitation, or at least Mom did, with getting a pit bull.
Yeah, I mean,
What was that original thought process?
The thought process was we keep reading articles about pit bulls killing their neighbors' children.
Yeah.
And, I believe I've never met a pit bull that wasn't anything but charming, including yours.
Yeah, yeah.
And I believe everybody who owns one who tells me they're wonderful pets, we have absolutely no anxiety about them. I just know that if you ever read a story about a dog eating the neighbor's children, it's a pit bull.
Yeah. I think it's because they are such powerful dogs that they can be horrifyingly aggressive. And I think that the people that are evil enough to make a dog horrifyingly aggressive, their first choice obviously would be a pit bull because they can do some damage.
Right. There's the cultural attraction to pit bulls in I would say the millennial population. Is that right? Young adults.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's
Us
cool
millennials.
It's cool to have a pit bull with a spiky collar.
I don't know if I would say a spiky collar, but it's almost like a fad of these millennial little white girls that get a very vicious looking pit bull and they put a sweater on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the meme, I guess, is like Sam will joke with me and be like, oh man, a white girl I'll see a pit bull on the street and I'll go on the other side of the street and you'll see a pit bull on the street and you'll try to be its best friend. And I'm like, yeah, of course I will. Pit bulls are great.
Well, and I've never met a pit bull
that was vicious. Yeah. Well, you also don't know evil people that would make dogs vicious.
I don't spend a lot of time at dog fights.
You don't bet on those?
No, and I don't spend a lot of time at car rallies where people have their pit bulls with them snarling at each other.
Right. I have seen aggressive pit bulls, and I feel like it's always that they're scared. Usually, in the circumstance, of course, I don't go to pit bull fights either, or dog fights either, but the aggressive ones that I do see, it's not, I don't know, I guess it's not purposeful, it's anxiety.
Well, I think there's two things. It's anxiety and fear, but it's also in the DNA. They were bred to be work dogs and protective dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think their inclination is to want to protect you.
Yeah.
And so...
Oh, I see that for sure in my pit bull. Like when I was pregnant, she was very protective.
Yeah, so when a stranger comes tripping into the yard, they will bark.
Yeah.
They will be perceived as aggressive, and if somebody who's getting barked at, if the mailman starts to run away, that's that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind my dog sounding aggressive.
No, that's right.
Yeah, that's what they're for, right?
That part of their job is to bark.
Yeah.
So misgivings about Cali, she's super strong. The first time we put her on the leash and took her for a walk, we could not control her.
She almost knocked you down?
Yeah, she's really strong. So she's got the pit bull whatever, muscles. And since my stroke, I can't say that word.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm sorry.
And I think that, as I recall, the first time you ever saw her, you said, "Oh, you got a pit bull."
Yeah.
And so she looks like a pit bull until you get close enough to see all the wrinkly
wrinkles.
skin hanging off her.
Yeah.
People just love her, by the way, and I think it's the Shar-Pei part that everybody is affectionate toward.
Yeah, she's. I have to say, she's so ugly. She's cute.
Yeah, that's right. She looks like no other dog in the whole world.
No, yeah, I've never seen a dog in the 10 years I've been doing this. I've never seen a dog like her.
And completing the package is a long, almost hairless black tail.
Yeah.
That
looks like a rat tail?
Looks like a rat tail. Or a terrier's tail.
Yeah.
So she's a unique looking thing. But when you walk around the seawall, people stop you and say, "Oh my God, can I pet your dog?"
That's so insane to me. Yeah. So she doesn't look scary to the general public. So that's good.
No.
That's good.
No.
What would you say your biggest challenge with her has been so far?
Well, I really don't like the fence fighting. When I'm walking my dogs in the neighborhood and some terrorist, overprotective dog in a yard starts, trying to get out of the gate to come attack us, I don't like that.
Yeah.
And we will cross streets to avoid the houses where we know those dogs are.
Yeah.
And I didn't like my dog behaving that way.
Yeah.
And
it's off-putting.
Yeah.
It makes it seem like your dog's aggressive when it's not.
Well, and, just as an example, the guys who live 2 houses down from us have a big old standard poodle.
Oh, okay.
Who's got to weigh 80 pounds, 90 pounds, and is really strong. And when they would come by, that poodle and Cali just wanted to kill each other.
Oh, man.
Through the fence. And that guy couldn't move that poodle.
Yeah.
I would have to come out and pick up Cali and take her inside before that guy could get past my house.
Oh, no.
And so that bothered me, and we've been working on it in training, and she barks much less now. And
good.
They teach you with a clicker and treats to teach her to come back.
Yeah.
And when she's barking at somebody, you can now open the front door and say, Cali, whatever your name is, Cali, come back, and click your little clicker, and she comes back.
Wow.
Because she thinks you have a treat for her.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. That's really good, though. That's crazy. That's really good. That's good training.
We would not have thought of that on our own.
Well, yeah. That's a pretty advanced recall method that they taught you, and I'm really glad to hear that. What is it, PetSmart?
Yeah.
PetSmart is doing that now, because I don't know if you remember, but I took Scruffy to PetSmart to unaggressive him to make him not aggressive, and they weren't teaching those methods, but those are the methods that agility training trainers do is the clicker, and that's really good. And she listens.
Yeah, she listens. She's
that's
not
so
stupid.
Yeah, that's so.
There
great.
was, talking about what were the challenges when we first got her. I think with every dog, they want to figure out where they fit in the pack. They all want to be part of a pack, and depending on their personalities, they want to be the leader of the pack, or they want to be the wingman, or they want to be one of the crowd. But
where do you think she has fallen? Did she fight Chance ever?
No. She likes Chance. She's unhappy that Chance is so old. He doesn't.
He's no fun.
He's no fun.
Yeah.
And so I think she fits in the pack as the princess. She kind of and
like the spoiled princess.
A little bit, but when she was first there was this period of, does she run the show
or does Chance?
Or does me?
Oh.
Nancy.
Oh, she was testing you guys.
Right.
Not
if you
Chance.
took her out on the leash, she had absolutely no interest in going where you wanted to go.
Right. Yeah.
And she had all the interest in the world in going where she wanted to go, and she was strong enough to take you there.
Yeah.
And
she was going to. She had the motivation.
Yeah. And, you know, it's a dog who lived out of dumpsters for 2 years, and so you couldn't pass a garbage can without her pulling you over there to sniff it and pee on it.
Yeah, that was the challenge Mom had told me the most about. I think maybe it just really bothered her that she dug in the trash can. But, you know, like, she was homeless before, right? Or, like, we assume that's what they said.
That's the backstory, yeah.
But with her doing that, I believe him a little bit more.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. She, so that behavior's gotten a whole lot better just because she's settled into the pack.
And she realizes you're going to feed her.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah. I think with every dog I've ever had, their guiding preoccupation has always been eating.
Yeah.
And Molly, my favorite dog, she was nothing but an ambulation station for a belly. You know, I mean,
she loved food.
Yeah, her entire preoccupation in the world was, where can I eat something right now? And,
how can I snack?
And, you know, Chance is old now, and he's not like that, but Cali certainly is.
Yeah.
You know, she gets her breakfast in the morning and starts sniffing around for the crumbs of the pizza we had last night.
Yeah.
And licks the carpet to get those, and then, you know, she sits down next to us while we're working in the house and stares at us.
Yeah,
like, I'm really hungry.
It's like her main motivation for life is just her belly.
So I think any rescue dog, you go through this period of, where do I fit in the pack?
Okay.
And you go through this period of, you know, let me test these people and see if I'm in charge here.
Yeah.
And that, I think, goes away as their anxiety for being in a new place and a new pack goes away.
Yeah. They start to learn the ways of your house.
Yeah. And so we haven't worried about having a shoe eaten for 6 months.
That's pretty good. But you said you had her for 10 months. So that time period's longer than you would think.
Yeah. And now, when you leave the dogs in the house while you're out and about, you'll come back and, you know, our ground floor of our house is littered with pairs of shoes, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because who wants to carry them upstairs and put them in the closet?
Nobody.
And she will have picked up one shoe out of a pair and moved it somewhere.
Will she eat it?
No, she doesn't eat it. She just moves it.
She just moves it.
So you come home and you want to put on your walk the dog shoes, and there's only one there, and you have to
you have to go find
it. It's
a fun game, right?
Yeah, it's generally under a couch or something.
Yeah, yeah.
I think she likes the smell of the shoes because it reminds her of the people in the pack.
Yeah,
I guess. And she's afraid to eat them.
Yeah. No, my Sparky does that still, and he's been my dog for 10 years. So.
Well, Sparky's story is when he had separation anxiety, he would eat Hayden's socks.
Yeah, or shirts, and now he eats my socks and shirts.
That's so stupid.
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
He's almost died twice from it now. But, you know, I digress.
A different dog, different story.
I digress. Okay, how did you come up with her name, Callie? How did you come up with
She already
Callie?
had it.
Oh, okay.
I think the shelter people had stuck that on her.
I wonder why.
I don't know.
California vibes?
They say it's short for California.
Okay.
And I don't have any picture of her being a California dog.
No.
But, you know, I don't know what a California dog is. Maybe a Pekingese being carried by Reese Witherspoon.
I don't know.
Or a Chihuahua.
Or a Chihuahua, yeah. They literally have a movie in California starring 2 Chihuahuas, so that's what I would think of.
But anyway, that name was there. It's not the name I would have used.
Okay.
Because I've already shown you I can mix it up with Callie.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm sure she gets it. You know, you start yelling something with Cal, she'll be like, huh?
Yeah.
Me?
Well, right now she's settled into a good place. She's part of the pack.
She's happy. She likes her walks.
Interestingly, when she came to the house, she would sleep with Nancy and I on the big bed.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm shocked you guys let happen.
And she would burrow under the quilt.
Yeah.
And you would find her curled up by your feet under the quilt in the morning.
Wow.
Which I think was just kind of the same way she burrowed under bushes and weeds when she was out and about.
I bet.
And now she's settled in, like, I'll sleep wherever I want. I'll sleep on the couch downstairs. I'll sleep on my dog bed. Or,
That's her house
yeah.
now. She
Or
understands
maybe I'll
now.
get up on the bed with you. We'll see.
That's funny that that's not her first choice.
It's frequently not her first choice.
Yeah, that's cool.
The other thing she has when she believes you're asking her to do something she doesn't want to do, whether it's come look at this garbage you pulled out of the garbage can, or, you know, come look at this puddle of pee, she will crawl under beds.
Because she knows she's in trouble.
She knows she's in trouble.
What a smart dog.
Yeah.
She learned pretty quick that she was not in charge, and you can get in trouble for doing things in this place.
Nancy is the disciplinarian.
Oh, no.
Nancy is the one who shoves her nose into the pee, not me.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I'm her lawyer. I'm like, don't push her nose into the pee.
Was it really that bad?
Yeah.
Was it that bad? No. What are some, let me ask you this, what kind of medical things did you discover about her when you first got her?
She has coat issues.
Okay.
And the vet said that Shar-Peis have coat issues for life.
Yeah.
And it manifests itself in redness in her paws and redness on her belly and around her lady parts and white bumps.
White
on her
bumps.
coat, on her top of her head. And
like pimples?
Yeah, kind of like a white pimple.
Okay.
And we've got some shampoo that when you shampoo her, it all goes away and it comes
Soothes
back.
her.
Comes back 2 weeks later, consistently, and it also responds to antibiotics. So,
do they say it's an infection or it's like allergies or it's just her coat?
They say it's. What am I? I'm gonna mistake viral and bacterial, but
that's okay.
I think it's viral. You give her antibiotics for it, and it gets better.
Okay.
The only other medical problem has been with those goofy feet, the claws. She sometimes bleeds right at the base of her claws.
Really?
And I think that's just one of the freaks of her physiology when you take her out on the beach and she gets in with those gritty sand,
like the sand gets in between her little
sand kind of gets in that
crevice in between
the crevice
her.
between what we would call the quick of our fingernail.
Right? Yeah, the hood of the nails. Yeah, I could see that for sure.
So sometimes you'll bring her home and her feet are bleeding, and you're like, "Oh my God, what have I done to this poor dog?"
Yeah. But how does she react? Does she?
She licks it, and if we're ambitious enough, we'll go out and fill the little wading pool and
let her run around in it. Yeah,
she likes being.
She loves that pool.
Yeah, she likes her wading pool. It's interesting. She used to love chasing sticks into the surf. Okay. And now she won't go. She doesn't like the surf. So I think that to me means she didn't like the salt on her poor little toesies.
Oh, yeah. I bet it stung a little bit.
Yeah. So she's not a saltwater dog. She's a clear water dog.
Yeah. When you're on the beach with her, you let her off leash?
Only if it's early in the morning and there's no one around. You know, there's a leash law in Galveston.
Yeah.
People get fussy if you let them off the leash and they come over to eat your hot dogs. Or, you know. And so if there are other dogs around in particular, we keep her on a leash because she wants to go
be friends.
And
not all dogs want to be friends with your dog.
Not all dogs want to be friends, and you never know if she'll just go home with that dog.
Yeah.
So,
I can't let Sparky off leash. He'll just.
Yes, I know that.
You've experienced that firsthand, haven't you?
I've not only learned that, he will jerk his collar off so he can take off.
Yep, that happened here when I first moved to this apartment. Someone was walking their dog, and he wanted to go see it. And I pulled him back, and he like whipped his head.
Yeah, leash is gone.
And took his collar off. No matter how tight the collar is, he's got such a slick coat, it does not matter. He'll get it off. And he'll just bolt.
That Cali can't. We now use a harness, but she can't get it off. But if you take the leash off, throw a stick, let her run around, she will leave to go visit a garbage can or to go visit another dog. And so
How's the recall when you're on the beach?
it's okay. It's okay. She is now learning to come back when we yell back at her.
Okay.
The thing about the beach is sometimes it's really noisy with the wind
Yeah.
and the waves, and she doesn't hear you and doesn't really have an interest in hearing you. So,
Yeah, yeah. It's like a selective hearing.
right. So
Selective hearing.
you've got to get close enough to her to yell back
Uh-huh.
and have her hear it, which means you may have to follow her down the beach for.
Do you
a quarter
bring
mile.
treats just in case?
We bring treats to work with them while we're walking.
Okay. Okay.
And-
Because she used to pull really hard.
Yes, and when she starts that, Nancy usually is the one at the wheel with Callie because my back and neck are
Yeah.
arthritic, and if
Yeah.
I fight her for a 2-mile walk,
Yeah.
I'm going to have to take 4 or 5 Valium and sleep for 6 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
It's a lot of work.
yeah. So Nancy's usually in charge, and when she starts pulling a whole lot, she will offer her a treat if she'll sit down. And
Okay.
Give her the treat. Get
Uh-huh.
her concentrated a little bit.
Yeah.
Give her some magic words like, "Don't you pull again or I'll kill you."
This is magic words,
Yeah.
yes.
And
Not heal or...
usually it's
Stop
still.
it.
Still.
Oh, still. Okay. Okay.
And she sort of responds to that. Depends on what she smells. you know.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like in the wild, if a dog smells something they really want to go after, they're not going to listen very well, no matter what.
That's right. And so we're a little hesitant to leave her off the leash for long.
Yeah. Not speaking on the ones that are like fully trained for, true service dogs.
Right.
They probably listen no matter what. But they
Right.
also have like years of intense training, and they cost like thousands and thousands of dollars. So.
I know people who I've met them at the dog park who have trained their own service dogs, and they're usually never on a leash. They walk right next
Yeah.
to the guy, and when they get to the dog park, if there's 10 dogs in there barking at them and trying
They'll just sit
to
there.
distract them, they'll sit next to the boss until he says, "Go on."
That's so amazing.
Yeah. And
I did run into someone who picked up a deaf pit bull off the side of the street. It's a puppy. It's only 4 months old right now. And already he signs to it and it does whatever he says. And he thinks he's not keeping that dog. He thinks he's fostering it for another home. No, he's going to keep that dog
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
gotcha.
But I think that's amazing that people, I mean, I know it takes a lot of time, surely.
yeah, I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
And you know another person with a deaf pit bull, your nephew Mason.
Yes. Well, I think she's a boxer. Or she?
He's a he.
He.
Little brother is his name.
Little brother. And he's a fully white boxer. He may have some pit in him. I don't know.
I think he has some pit in him.
Some
'cause
boxer
he's so
pit.
strong. But
He is. He's a big boy. And he's strong. And he's very, very happy and wiggly and energetic. And
and
I hope to have him on for sure because he's a very interesting dog.
he is, and he's fully trained to follow the signs.
Yeah,
You know, he's
that's
a
so
well-behaved dog.
That's so great.
But we digress.
But yeah. We
Um,
digress.
So the other thing worth mentioning about Callie is that she's a snuggler, which is kind of odd for... I think Shar-Peis are, by genealogy, kind of standoffish. They're not... You don't see movie stars carrying Shar-Peis.
No. You want to know the lowdown on Shar-Peis?
Yeah, tell me the lowdown.
The lowdown is that when they come into the clinic, you kind of automatically assume they're at least a little bit aggressive or not to be trusted. They are almost always don't touch me. Do not touch me because I'll show you what I can do. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
And so, that's, of course, like any dog, that's not every single Shar-Pei, but those are definitely immediately the ones that medical professionals are going to be weary of because at the vet, they are very much, do not mess with me. I don't want to be touched.
Yeah.
stay away. And of course, our job is to mess with you, touch you,
Yeah.
get whatever. So
Interesting.
yeah, so that's why when you got a Pitbull Shar-Pei, I was more worried about the Shar-Pei part. I was thinking, oh, Dad, you did get a dog that's gonna eat you.
She's a snuggler, interestingly enough.
That's the Pitbull.
And
That's got to be the
I
Pitbull
guess,
side.
she is happiest when Nancy and I are watching our Netflix in the evening and having an aperitif. If she can crawl up and sit between us and get her belly scratched.
Yeah.
And
What a wonderful life
yeah,
you've given
what a
this
life.
shelter dog.
Yeah, compared to eating garbage on the beach, it's
Or-
pretty mellow for her.
Or being in a cage in a shelter.
Yeah.
You know, that's not a fun thing, and I feel like shelter dogs usually are just very happy to be alive.
Yeah, to have a home.
Yeah, just very grateful, And that's kind of, I think, the running joke, rescue dogs versus dogs you would get from the breeder or something like that. The ones you get from the breeder are going to cost you a whole bunch of money and have a whole bunch of medical problems and be really prissy or aggressive. And then your little rescue dog can, last through a civil war and, nuclear bombs and be perfectly fine and happy to be there.
I think that's right. The only purebred dog that I ever paid for was the St. Bernard.
Oh.
And she had AKC papers and was bred by a St. Bernard breeder who happened to be a friend of Nancy's friends. And she did have some health problems. She had hip problems, which is very common with St. Bernards because they're so big.
Yeah.
But other than that, she was a wonderful, quiet, mellow dog.
That's great.
We didn't. I feel guilty about her because Nancy and I went away to college and left her with my parents, and they didn't do anything with. They couldn't walk her. This is 100.
Like physically, they couldn't do it.
150-pound dog.
Yeah.
And so she just stayed in the backyard, and it was a pretty good sized Billings, Montana backyard.
Yeah.
But no dog is going to be happy under those circumstances. Here
No.
I am in my cage again today.
Yeah. Here I am in my doghouse again.
Right. We ended up taking her. We switched schools, transferred to University of Montana, ended up taking her with us, and she and Kilo, the border collie, were then a team and
felt much better. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like when dogs have companions,
It's much better. Even the solo dogs, though, I feel like you can have a solo dog if that dog is your life.
Right.
Because otherwise, I feel like they're just kind of bored. But, I mean, I don't know. What do I know? There's millions of owners and millions of dogs. But, I have a friend that has a little white chihuahua named Killer, who I'm definitely having on. I think that's hilarious. And it's attached to her and hates everyone else, as chihuahuas do.
Yeah.
And there are the dogs.
There's the gang.
They probably see somebody outside. Hold, please.
Shut up!
They shut up. That's pretty. No.
Ah! Hush. Lay down.
This will come out in the edit.
Yeah, this will be great. Can't have a happy pet, happy family podcast without some barking, right? Generally, I eventually want everyone's pets to be here. We have our little 16-year-old guest here who, it's a very sad story, but let's just say that we're giving her a life that she can be happy with until she, needs to go see the farm in the faraway place.
You see lots of senior citizen dogs at shelters, and they are adopted last.
Yeah.
And they end up in shelters because they're
Circumstances
hard to take,
like this.
Yeah, they're hard to take care of, and they require medical care that people can't afford.
And a lot of the times it'll be older people that can't physically do this or, whatever it is. This one I inherited from a couple who was moving to Florida. And that's a long way for a 16-year-old dog to go and be uprooted and do a whole thing. And unfortunately, right before they left, we found some cancer. And so they did the right thing. They scoured, months before they left, somebody to take their dog, and they just happened to pull on my heartstrings enough, and here she is. And I love her. She's a great dog.
She doesn't look high maintenance.
She's not. She literally comes with me to work. I give her some prednisone to shrink her tumors and try to make her comfortable. And she does this all day with me. She just sits next to me while I watch TV or edit or whatever it is. And she's a very sweet girl. She can't hear anything. She's completely deaf.
Right.
Watch this. Yeah. Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's happy. And that's my point, is her quality of life is still good. That's my goal.
Right.
That's my only question for her is she happy? Is she healthy enough that her quality of life is good? Then I'm going to keep her and try to take her to dog parks. She likes to go to dog parks, so.
I think a lot of the senior citizens you see at shelters end up going to foster homes if
I
there
hope
are
so.
enough available, because they're a challenge to take care of, and it's no fun when they die.
And they're not the first pick.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're
Which is
not going to
sad.
live long.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel bad for them, but I adopted a 2-year-old. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you weren't looking for a charity case. You were looking for a dog for a long time, and that's the difference.
I had my charity case with her brother, who's 12. And
Who, Chance?
Chance. He's
Oh
12.
yeah. Oh God, and he is high maintenance.
He's a healthy 12, but he's very needy and emotionally
And anxious.
anxious, and
Got lick granulomas all over him, and hot spots all over him,
Yeah,
and he's
he's
just
kind
an
of
anxious, itchy dog.
he's an anxious, itchy dog. He responds well to tranquilizers, so that's the secret.
But he used to be a very spry, loving, very good companion dog. He still is, I guess.
Still
He's still a
is.
very
He's
good
not as
companion
spry
dog.
as he was, but
He's a very loving.
we're switching topics here. He is an Aussie Shepherd mix, and
That's okay. We can talk about both your dogs. I don't mind.
again, protection and herding us are his two responsibilities. And
Yeah.
so he still does those very well. And, his deal is usually me, but if I'm not around, Nancy, he will follow us everywhere we go in the house. And if I go upstairs to get a new T-shirt, he will follow me up the stairs and sit outside my room.
Okay, well, he's healthy enough to go up some stairs.
He's okay.
He's doing good.
He still jumps up on the big bed.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he can jump up in the back of the car anymore, but
I love
he's a
him to
healthy
death.
12.
He was, when he was younger, I was still like, what, 16? No.
He's 12 now.
He's 12, and I'm 26.
You were 14, maybe.
14? Yeah. And my brother brought him home from a ditch.
Right.
Him and his girlfriend brought him home from a ditch. And he's a Catahoula Australian Shepherd thing. And he has Texas on his nose.
Yep, he has the shape of Texas.
I've got to take a picture of that and include that. But he's got a spot the shape of Texas. I don't know why he wasn't named Texas.
Yeah, well, he should have been named Tex.
Yeah, Tex or something. But he was named Chance, I think they said, because they gave him another chance.
Right.
Yeah.
They were his last chance.
They were his last chance. Okay.
And it's kind of a miracle that they saw him as a puppy, a little brown puppy.
Yeah. In a coal vault ditch, or what are those big cement? Is that where they found him?
He was over by Kayla's house. So
yeah.
Those are what in Montana we used to call burrow pits. They're just drainage ditches on either side of the road that are not cemented. They're just full of weeds.
Yeah.
And how would you see him down there as you're driving by? So
yeah.
It was pretty much a God thing.
A miracle thing. Yeah. I feel like a lot of the dogs that we have all gained has been the result of God placing them right where they need to be. Including this one right here, because the way that I got her was her parents, I was doing an appointment for them. And he had asked my doctor, do you know anyone that would give my old dog a good rest of its life while I go move to Florida? you know, because they were retiring. They're older, and he was like, no, I don't know, you know, I'll ask around. You can post it on Facebook. And by the end of the appointment, my heart was like, nah, I'll take it.
Well, yes, I guess I sort of agree, but a number of my dogs are the result of my children leaving them behind, like Chance.
Like Chance.
You know.
And Molly, to be honest.
And Molly, to
because
be
Molly
honest.
was supposed to be mine.
Molly was your dog, and while
But she
was,
chose you.
Well,
that wasn't my fault.
No, here's the correct story. While she was still a young puppy, you and Mom got an apartment in Bel Air, Texas, so you could go to Bel Air High School.
Yeah.
And you could not take her to the apartment.
She was too big.
So she stayed.
And we had to go all the way down 4 flights of stairs just to walk her.
She stayed behind in the big house with Papa. And you may not recall, but right like 2 weeks before you guys went to that apartment so you could go to Bel Air High School, I had a knee replaced. So
Yes, I do remember
when you guys took off to go enjoy your life in Bel Air, Texas, I was in a walker,
Go to
couldn't
school,
drive,
by the way.
and had a puppy. So
Yeah.
it was a remarkable time.
It was a great time.
Yeah.
But that puppy eventually also had knee replacements.
Yes, she had. Well, she did not have knee replacements.
She
She
had
had
cruise.
2 knee surgeries.
Yeah.
Well, I laugh. It's not really a knee replacement. They put in a elastic band
Yeah,
in place of the ligament that's supposed to be an ACL
yeah, I got you.
on both of the knees. She had him on both knees, and
Yep.
so did you.
So did I.
So-
So I wouldn't call that a God thing. I'd call that a Nancy and Ginny thing.
Same with Chance.
Same with Chance. Same with Scruffy. You may recall.
Yes, Scruffy was also supposed to be mine, but he
Right.
chose Chris.
He didn't choose Chris. It was a conspiracy. Every time Chris saw that dog, he gave it food.
Well, and also he let him do whatever he wanted. That's why
Right.
he became so aggressive.
I remember you guys had a TV in the garage.
Yes.
And you would sit in there. I remember coming out there, and Scruffy was pulling the covering off the sheetrock. And Chris was sitting there watching TV.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you out of your freaking mind sitting there watching that dog tear apart the sheetrock in his garage?
Yeah. Chris
And
didn't care.
he looks at me like, what's wrong with that?
Isn't that what dogs do?
Yeah, so that's the relationship Scruffy had with him.
How old was Chris? Like what, 12?
12?
12.
13?
Yeah. Yeah, he was a mess, and Scruffy was a mess.
And so Scruffy became a mess, right? Because
Yeah.
Scruffy was bribed. He was suborned. He was
bribed, he was spoiled, he got to do whatever he wanted.
He was unfairly taken to the dark side.
Yeah, and he became kind of a POS dog. He was not a very nice dog at first.
Right, and as he got older, he became a nice dog.
Yeah.
But
Well, I took him to training, and
Yeah,
they
I
taught me
remember.
how to they told me to sit on him until he realized he wasn't the master. Because I think that's what me and Chris messed up on, is we let him rule,
right,
and that really messed him up.
we let him rule, and we wanted him to hang around us, so we gave him half of every meal.
Yeah.
Which not healthy for dog and not healthy for dog's emotions.
No, yeah, absolutely not. And it was a red healer. Sparky was a red healer, and red healers need a lot of training,
Yeah.
and he was getting none of it.
None of it.
And he
That's right.
got to do whatever he wanted. He used to bite us if we told him to get off the couch. He was bad. Yeah, he was bad. But so now you have Chance and Cali, and you guys are living your best life on the beach, you know? I think it's a wonderful
Yeah.
life.
I think that being someplace where you can walk them, someplace more beautiful and in nature than around the block,
Yeah.
is a blessing. So
It is. I envy it a lot, and I think that where you are right now and the dogs that you have is kind of awesome for you guys, because I think walking dogs became a very good routine thing that you and mom kind of bond over and love to do together, and doing the beach is just a dream come true for a lot of people, and that's great.
We've been very lucky. I mean, for 28 years, we lived out in the country in Manville. We
Yeah.
could walk the dogs down the right of way into the woods.
Yeah, the
And-
little creek, the little
yeah.
spidery woods.
And yep, the spidery woods. And so we had that forever and ever. And then when we were in Rose Sharon, they had those walking trails around the man-made lakes that
Yeah.
were nice places to walk dogs.
And then Brazos Bend was like just minutes from us.
I
Yeah.
mean, not minutes, but like close enough for a drive. And for those of you listening or those of you that don't know, Brazos Bend is a alligator park,
State park,
state park,
full of alligators.
full of it. Okay, well, I grew up knowing it was an alligator park because that's cool as hell, you know. But it's basically a whole bunch of trails going around like this swamp area, and you can see alligators. Sometimes
They'll eat your dog if you let them.
They'll eat your dog. They'll eat your kids. And sometimes they're on the trail. You know, I feel like people that aren't from Texas are gonna listen to this and just be like, "I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Y'all do that for fun?" Yeah, and you can camp there and everything too. But that was really fun, taking the dogs out there. You
Well,
know?
and every once in a while there will be a big one lying next to the trail, and you'll have somebody taking a picture of their kid.
Right
to
next to it. Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
And you'll walk up on that and you'll say, well, you know, I think he's maybe too close to that alligator.
Man.
and they're like, I'm just taking a picture. Yeah, okay.
Alrighty.
Bye.
I think the alligators are well fed though, because I don't think I don't think I've heard of any.
Kids getting eaten.
No kids have been eaten at Brazos Bend Park, to the best
But,
of my knowledge.
Yeah, to the best of our knowledge, but
You
Anyway.
will see them being aggressive with each other during mating season.
okay.
The-
But I think that's
The
natural.
boys will,
Yeah.
the boys will wrestle with the boys. These are not my pets, and they're not happy. So we won't focus too much on alligator behavior.
But it was a cool place to bring your kids, your pets, whatever, and yeah. So, well, okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you being here and answering all my questions and painting a picture of your relationship with Cali and Chance too. And I'm just so grateful that you came on.
Well, thank you for asking, and Callie is appreciative. We will listen to this podcast together.
Yeah.
And she'll hear her name being repeated all the time, and she'll like it. She watches TV too.
What?
Yeah, when she snuggles in between us, she will watch Netflix.
Oh, that's cute. I think this dog watches TV a lot. I don't leave her at home because I don't trust her. But when I watch TV, she's like, "What is that?"
Before we sign off, tell me about dogs' vision. Is it correct that they don't see colors?
They don't see colors like us, for sure. Like as vivid as we see them. But it's not black and white like most
Okay.
people think.
Okay.
It's not black and white. Of course, there's no way we can actually tell, you know what I mean? Because they can't tell us anything. But there's reasons to believe that it's not just black and white, like things that they recognize and stuff like that.
I got you.
But yeah, it's a little bit different. And when they get a little cloudy, they're getting their cataracts.
Yeah.
This dog's 16, and if you look in her eyes, she has none. She has none. That baffles me. That's an anomaly. That's a medical anomaly.
Chance has cataracts.
My dogs
We
have,
digress.
they're getting cataracts, and they're 10. So, well, all right. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening, for watching, and, follow me in all my places, and I'm so glad you were here, and see you next time.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye. Although I am a pet nurse, I am not your pet's nurse. The discussions taking place here are for entertainment and educational purposes only, and is not a substitute for medical advice. Do not use the information discussed here as a replacement for care, advice, or to diagnose your pet. Please take your pet to a licensed veterinarian regularly, and if your pet is having any issues. I am not liable for your pet's health or anything you do with the information shared on this podcast. Thank you for watching.
Happy families, happy families.